I was born in Houston, Texas. My dad grew up during the Dust Bowl, during the Depression, joined the Air Force in WW2. He spent the better part of 5 years in the Pacific. He demanded that my sisters and I made good grades, dedicated ourselves to education. When I was in the 9th grade, I sprained both of my ankles and I never played football that year. So the next year, my father was talking to me one day and he said, "You need to go out there and start getting ready for football." And I told him I didn't think I was going to play football. And he got tears in his eyes, and the next day I'm out there running and was on the football team. First game we played in, the first team quarterback got the wind knocked out of him, and the coach put me in, and first play I ever played, I threw a 48-yard touchdown pass, and the rest of that time I was the starting quarterback. The University of Houston at that time had just hired a coach by the name of Bum Phillips. And he would meander into our house, knock on the door, and come in and say, "You know, Ken, how you doing? Have you made your mind up yet?" "No, Coach, I hadn't." And then he would turn to my dad and say, "Let's throw horseshoes out in the backyard." Well, one day I was sitting with my dad, and my dad said, "Have you made up your mind yet where you're going?" And I said, "No, I'm still thinking about it." And he said, "Well, you know, your mother and I really like Coach Phillips." And that's when I knew I was going to go to the University of Houston. When I was there, we never lost to the University of Texas, never lost to Ole Miss, Archie Manning. We also beat, in 1967, we went up to East Lansing to play Michigan State the year after they had been co-national champions with Notre Dame. During that time period, we had the most incredible faculty out there. I remember John O'Quinn one time used to say that whenever he was in a courtroom and met somebody for the first time and they would tell him that they graduated from Harvard Law School, he would go, "Yeah," because he knew he had a better education than they had and he was going to get them. As far as somebody would go out there and understand at an early age, and it's hard to understand this at an early age, how much your education and that opportunity to get education is to you 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 48 years later. That's what I hope that people focus on. My family is the most important thing in my life today. It has been for many, many years. Everything I do is for them. And I've been blessed. I've been blessed with a great family. I've got 6 grandchildren now. I think it's somewhere in the Bible that says that grandchildren are the treasure of old men. That is a fact. I love to travel with my wife. I mean, we've been all over the world several times. We own a place out on the other side of San Antonio, north of Uvalde. My favorite pastime out there is to get on my bulldozer and go push over cedar trees. Oldest granddaughter, whose name is Bailey, turned to her mother and said, "Are we going to always own the ranch?" And my daughter said, "Well, of course we are. Why?" And she said, "Because that's my favorite place to go." I know who I am. I know what it took to get me who I am. And a major step was the University of Houston. We were never a big school coming out of the time period that I was there. It started out as a working class university with Dr. Qatar's leadership, and we have really made some great progress. We are there under her leadership, and it's just been incredible. Anytime I can help the University of Houston and help future generations to get the benefit that I got from that school, I'm going to do it.